Welcome to Off Script with Toast. We are Toast. I'm Will.
And I'm Ashley, Will's better half and business partner. And we are here to discuss the full disclosure on what it really takes to thrive in real estate while running a business, life, family, and everything in between.
Yeah, and today we're going to be covering and pulling back the curtain on our 2025 marketing schedule and going through it line by line to give you a resource for what you should be doing with your database.
Yep.
Okay, let's get into this. So we are going through business planning over the past, I feel like it's been a month's process.
Yes, it has.
Putting 2025 together. And it's been a little bit hectic because we're doing business planning along with our holiday event all in the same week.
That's right. And, we have busy life with kids and what you're going to hear today, nothing's perfect. It's messy behind the scenes. We're going to go through what we do to prepare for the year on our end, but stuff happens. It's kind of messy. We have an event this weekend and we completely forgot to tell one of the most important pieces, our photographer, to be there for the 4.5 hours to take the holiday photos. So that's the reality of running a business sometimes. And we're hurrying up and figuring that out today for tomorrow's event. But we're excited to talk to you guys a bit today about business planning and what we do from a marketing touch point system with our clients and how we continue to engage them. And we're going to walk kind of through what Will's doing with our individual agents and then what we're doing as a team, high level, to prepare for next year.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like the way our team's built differently. We don't...
built different.
I think that's how we focus very heavily on operations. We talked about this last week, having a systematic approach to database as our main lead funnel. And I think a lot of teams that we've seen are built on leads, right? So what we've seen, especially in the Omaha market, is you'll see a team leader provide a whole bunch of leads to a large group of agents. They'll then turn an ROI on those leads. And then what happens is you get some turnover over time because your top producers realize they can buy their own leads and then go out and they start their own little same version of that in a different team. We took a different approach of having more of a systems and value-based team. We focus on database and we teach our agents how to turn their database at 10%.
Yes.
So that's a big focus of ours. Do you want to add anything there as you transitioned from an individual agent to team, like how database has affected your business?
Yes. So I realize the importance of it now, for one, of having some sense of streamlined consistency with how you talk to your people, how you stay in front of your people, and how important that is because, like Will said, we don't buy leads on our team, and our goal is to hit 10%. We did not hit that this year, actually, so areas for improvement, we're realizing what we need to do to adapt, but what I will say is if you're focusing on your database and your people, it makes your life so much easier because you're not having to chase down business. If you just talk to your people and love on your people and show value and provide things for them, knowledge, experience, and fun things to do that we're going to talk about today, whenever they think about buying or selling real estate, you are going to be top of mind. And that is really the entire goal of all of this, is to just consistently stay top of mind with your people so you're not having to do those cringy reach outs of, hey, are you ready to buy a house from me? You're just always top of mind for them if you're continuing to plug into this system.
Yep, and we'll talk a little bit about scripting on that too, of your quarterly calls. But yeah, we can kind of go over our numbers, but just to give you guys an understanding of, coaching for the last 4.5 years and then running the team this year, a standard that I think all agents should really focus on is if you turn your database at 10%, you're doing the right things and you're probably hitting capacity with that. So what does that mean? That means if you have 200 people in your database, number one, you have to have a database. Number two, you have to communicate with them probably somewhere between 50 to 70 times. On a 200 contact database, you should be able to have 20 referrals coming from that. Key points on this. If you're not turning your database at 20%, historically, it's three things.
10%, you mean?
10%, sorry. If you're not turning your database at 10%, it's one of three things: frequency, authenticity, or value. That means frequency meaning you're not hitting enough touches to your database. Authenticity meaning you're probably copy and pasting somebody else's emails or their information and sending it to them. It's not authentic to who you are. Or value. You may have a database that's full of first-time home buyers. If you're sending them luxury properties, you're not hitting on value to your people.
Yep.
Right? So last year, do you remember how many touches we had?
110? Our goal last year was 110. And I think we did...
I think somewhere between 35 and 40.
Yep, 35 and 40. We were in a huge growth period last year and added on operations, people, and marketing, and we did not have those resources at the beginning of the year. So we realized where our gaps were and why we couldn't execute on some of those things, because we grew pretty quickly with agents but didn't have all of the operational pieces to support that goal. So we're really excited for next year because we did business planning and we now have 3 full-time people on our team to help execute this year. And so yeah, we did not hit the goal last year. We're not perfect, and we're going to try and hit it this year.
And it's crazy to think that, right? Like, we only did 35 to 40 touches, which is about like 30 to 32% of the total that we had planned for. And we turned our database in terms of Sphere and Sphere referrals, past client deals, at about 3.7%.
Yep.
Right? It aligns perfectly. 3.7% of 10 and 33% in terms of our total touches. If we hit 110, what's going to happen? We're going to turn that closer to 10%. We've realized that that's probably not possible for us to do all 110. So we're going to go through our 76 this year. If I'm math wrong on that, I'm sorry. But let's first just get into like the bulk of our touches is a weekly toast post is what we call it.
Yep.
What's all a part of that, and how has that evolved?
Yeah, okay. So we're going to really peel this back and go line by line of what we do. So one of the touches, which accounts for 52 of them going into 2025 for us, is, yes, the weekly toast post, which is our weekly email that we send out to our database to stay in front of. A lot of you guys are probably doing, the social media posts and all of those things, which are great, and, we do that too, but you really want to get those people off of social media, off the platform, because there's no guarantee they're seeing your content and seeing your stuff on social media. But when you have their email and you're touching your database that way, there's a guarantee that that's being delivered in front of them. So if you're not doing email right now, I highly advise that. It's an easy way, cost-effective way to stay in front of your people. What we've learned from 2024 that didn't necessarily work or get as much engagement is, because we grew so quickly, our marketing gal, put the toast post together for us, but it came out more generically from the team to the clients. And this is where, when Will was talking earlier, you really want to be authentic and add value and really more personalized if you really want to see more engagement from those type of things. And so we've adapted and edited our plan going into 2025, where that will come out to our agents, and then they'll be able to edit those, and it'll be personalized to their clients coming directly from them. So that's 52 right there, touches that you could easily do tomorrow if you wanted to. Do you want me to expand on the email piece?
Yeah. Talk to the individual agents out there. This highly unlikely you can do this weekly. It's possible to do bi-weekly, though, in my opinion, if you're structuring your time the right way. Does it have to be perfect? What's all in that email, right? And then how can you get that engagement that you're talking about?
Sure. It does not have to be perfect. Done is better than perfect. If you're type A perfectionist, like, just get it done and do it. Even if it's not perfect, just get it in front of them. But the content that we put in ours would be very hyper-localized information, whether that's events happening this weekend, it could be new business openings in the community, specifically in the areas that your clients live, work, go, do things. So very local content. You could provide some type of a market update. And don't make it super dry with a bunch of numbers. Like, put it in layman's terms for them and how they can understand what this data means to them. So some type of a little blurb, market update, thing like that. You could share a little bit of what's going behind the scenes in your life, because, again, these are your clients. It's your database. They know you. They probably know your family to some degree, or you've built enough of a rapport at that. So whether that's family photo and what you guys have been doing and what you're up to in life, like a quick update on you, that really brings that personality and grows that continued loyalty and rapport to you as an individual. And then we're on a team, so we kind of put like where we're at for our goal and where we're at for helping families units wise, to kind of build that credibility as well, that, hey, we do sell real estate. Our goal is 150 and we're at 149 or whatever that is, and showing that.
They're seeing you grow, right?
Correct.
That's so important.
Yes. So we have content like that. And again, this does not all need to be in every single email. These are just ideas. We kind of flip what we put in them. Some other ideas could be any featured listings you have. If you have a new listing coming up that you want to get in front of your database, or maybe a good investment opportunity, you never know if that person in the database is looking. They might respond to that email and say, hey, I consider this, and that sparks a conversation. So any new listings, open houses, valuable new listings that you want to get in front of them. Those are just some ideas.
Yeah, so to me as a new age, so our brains think much differently. You like to make things cute and perfect, so it took a lot for you. I put you on the spot. It probably took a lot for you to say it doesn't have to be perfect. I think you struggle with that a little bit. I'm more about consistency, so that's the difference in how our brains work. But me starting that as an individual agent, like that's going to take me hours. There's no way I'm going to do that. Does it really take that long once you get into the flow of it?
Not once you get into the flow of it and you've kind of got a structure in place, and then you can just plug and play from there and create your template. If you don't have anywhere to begin and you have no idea about email marketing, Flowdesk is a really, really, really great tool. It's super cost effective, makes things cute and pretty, and very user friendly. You can YouTube it and learn how to use it within 5 minutes. So if you don't have an admin or someone to do this for you, Flowdesk is what I would probably recommend, and it just makes it easy to make it cute and pretty.
Yeah. So if you were to do this bi-weekly instead of weekly, you're going to go from what we have down here, 76. You're still going to be in that 50 to 70 number, which allows you to turn this at 10%. The email is so important because it's the most consistent one. And you can hit all three of those things I talked about. Frequency being every 2 weeks. Authenticity being share some actual things that you have going on in your life or what you're working on. Maybe it's your goals, maybe it's your family. And then value, right? You know your people better than anybody else. So if you have a younger client base, then give them information that relates to them, right? Like I said, if you have first-time home buyers in your database, let's not send them all the luxury $1 million properties. Let's actually give them some value and make sure we're connecting with them how you know how to connect with them.
Yep. And one other idea I just thought of while you were talking is valuable contractors or vendors that maybe have used to your clients. You do this every day. You have a slew of probably landscapers and painters and all of these things. So that's a valuable thing that you don't have to be reaching out for about buying and selling real estate, but going to stay top of mind. They would actually appreciate having that information and knowing you have a credible contractor for them.
What you'll realize is one of my jobs is filtering. So a lot of ideas coming from this side over here, from Ashley, and then my job is to filter which ones, this is in parenting and a business, but which ones we're going to do. Okay, next one is, we call this DTD2. To me, this is the single most important part of all database. Why do emails? Why do events and all these things if you're not going to touch base and call and pick up the phone? Say it again. Pick up the phone and call them. Okay?
So don't text?
I think it's okay to text. People love texting, but try at least 1 to 2 times a year to get on the phone with your people. Okay, so you heard me say DTD2. What this is a quarterly call to your database, meaning we're going to touch base with our people 4 times a year. If it could be 4 calls, that would be fantastic. If it's 1 to 2 calls and 1 to 2 texts, I think that's probably enough. You want to touch base on this on calls?
No, I mean, we have a script book that we provide our agents, so we kind of have like a structure of what type of things we're going to talk about quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4 to guide those convos, if you will. Like, you want it to be natural and authentic and not like scripted by any means, but we've strategically given them like, here's some good talking points and how to, I mean, you're gonna be able to speak to this better because you know what they are, but quarter 1, like, what do we talk about? Quarter 4, what do we talk about? Yep,
so our calls, I'll go through those quick before we get into the other pieces of this, but we only have our agents ask for business once a year, okay? So we'll start in quarter 1, and the first thing that we're gonna do in quarter 1 is lay out our plan. So, hey, touch base with them. We have the Ford method on of like just understanding what's going on in their life, right? So touch and base, how's the kids, how's work, how's anything else you have going on in your world. Be human, be a friend, connect with them, build rapport, ask them real questions, right? You don't have to call and be like, hey Ashley, are you buying or selling? Okay, bye. That's not the point of database. The point of database is to develop really good connections with your people so they, want to see your journey and see you succeed.
Yeah, and I mean, as an agent who actually gets to do these things in the business, like, it was really uncomfortable at first, but it gets easier because as you start to have, a touch point plan and events and things to be able to talk about, it makes those conversations so much easier because you're inviting them to your events. You're seeing them at these things year round, whether they're buying or selling real estate with you. So when you go to pick up that phone and make that call, like, half the time I've seen that client at some point within the last 6 months at a pop by, an event, a giveaway we've done. I've communicated them in some form, so it's not out of nowhere.
Yep. So the structure of this call: touch base, build rapport, check in with them, see how things are going. Oftentimes they'll ask you how things are going in your life, which is a good transition to real estate. But after you touch base with them, hey, the reason for my call is to invite you to this event, or get feedback on the email, something that ties back to the other points in the marketing schedule, and then the focus of the actual call and the ask for something, right?
Yep.
So in the first quarter, this is the only part that really changes throughout the year. Quarter one is about setting up the actual plan for the year. These are the events we're going to do, the giveaways, birthdays, and I'm going to reach out to you 4 times. So we're going to actually ask them if it's okay to reach out. Hey, Ashley, we're going to be doing a whole lot of events, and we're going to be doing some giveaways and different things throughout this year. I know you're not always thinking who can will sell a house to, but would it be okay if I do touch base throughout the year and just check in to see if you might know of anybody looking at buying or selling real estate?
Yes, I would.
Perfect. And so, although that may be uncomfortable to do, you've now set the stage for the entire year of, hey, is it okay if I ask for business? Okay? Quarter two, we're going to be the one time we ask for business. We're in spring season. It's starting to heat up a little bit. Hey, as I've been reaching out to everybody that I know and supports my business, folks have already been giving me some referrals of people looking to get into the market. Who do you know that might be looking at buying or selling real estate?
Oh, my Aunt Susie.
Aunt Susie, connect me with Aunt Susie. Quarter three is going to be all about building our database. So who do you know that I should know?
Okay.
Simple question, and that is only there to help us, widen our circle and bring more people into our world. Quarter four is just centered around big events the next year. We all know around big events come some moves or different things like that. But hey, Ashley, I know we're wrapping up the year. Happy holidays. What kind of big events do you guys have next year? And what I'm going to do is write that down and make a note of it. That way, if I know Ashley's going to Europe next year, I'm going to touch base beforehand, tell her, have a great trip, hope everything goes well, and just show that you remember the things that they're doing next year.
And you guys, we have this all kind of written down. So at the end of this, if you're listening now and trying to take notes on all of this, we will be able to provide this as a resource later on.
Perfect. Okay, let's go to events, giveaways, and Popeyes. You want to start? You want to run through these?
Yeah. Do you want me to go into exact detail of what our events are?
Yeah, we could just give the overall, what we're doing and which ones we're focusing on this year.
Yes. So for next year, we didn't overload ourselves too much this year. Before, we were trying to do one thing every month, which just really got to be a lot on our operations team to keep up with. So we scaled that back a little bit, and I think we're doing only 9 of the months, but that's still a pretty heavy schedule. Yep. But it's going to be a mixture of those 3 things of pop buys, giveaways, and events. And of those 12 months, we want 9 of those to be a variation of those. So we strategically place those at the end of this year to kind of plan for next year based on high seasons in the market and when we're going to have capacity, and probably not do this massive event in the middle of June when it's our busiest season. So we strategically did this. I'll give you some examples. So windshield wiper fluid pop by, for example, is happening in January. And random, right? We piloted that last year, and it was one of our biggest responses. People were like, this is perfect timing. I was just running out of windshield wiper fluid. We dropped off on their front porch, had a cute little memo on it. And, we've tried different things, and we've just kind of realized what is sticking and what we're getting great feedback on. And then you just keep doing that. So if you're listening here, you don't need to copy exactly what we're doing. We're giving you the structure. Try your own things that you want to do or you think your clients will like. And if you're getting great feedback and engagement from that, then just keep repeating and do it again. I think a lot of people try and change things up constantly to do different things, but if you want to get really consistent and keep improving and getting it better and better every year, be consistent with what you're doing and just make that event better next year and make that pop by better the next year.
Yep. I'll admit, I was wrong. I'll admit on this, which I'm getting pretty good at saying that. And I didn't think this aligned with our brand at all. And it actually was a really great response from our people. So I'm excited to see how it plays out this year too.
Yep. So that's an example of one of our pop buys. And then we do a little spring cleaning one where we drop off a scrub daddy and some fun things there. And then we have a holiday gift pop buy that we do at the end of the year. And then in between that, we do, and you guys, again, will see this if you request a copy of our marketing plan. In August, we do Husker magnets. So that's been a huge, huge hit. It stays with them on their fridge for 3 months. So it's a really great way to stay top of mind. So we do the Husker magnets. And then for our events, we have 3 pretty big ones. We are doing a...
before you go to event, can you... I feel like as an individual agent, February, we took out February's touch this year. As an individual agent, I think that works really well. As a team, we didn't see as much success with it because it was pretty scattered.
Yeah.
But what did you do last year for Valentine's Day?
Last year, which we're not doing it this year, it did work fantastic as a solo agent when I was doing that. I had set up Valentine's Day reservations for people to coordinate for their significant others, where we went and called a bunch of restaurants in town and booked spots with them and reserved them under my name or Toast or whoever your team name is. And then reached out to our database saying, hey, we already have reserved spots on Valentine's Day at these 8 restaurants. We created a sign-up genius, and it just kind of took the, stress out of trying to figure out where to do it, having to call around. I mean, it was just more of a service-based, thing that we did. It wouldn't even be called an event, maybe like a special touch, if you will. So that was really successful when I was a solo agent. It was a little bit more scattered this year as a team. So we removed it for this year, but if you're listening in solo, that might be a really good touch point for you. And it did book immediately when I did that my first year. And mostly men, right? Because mostly they're the ones coordinating for Valentine's Day. Don't want to stereotype that it's always that way, but majority of them were like very appreciative because they're like, I wait last minute to do this thing, and we sent it out like 2-3 weeks in advance, and it was done, and they have to worry about trying to figure it out for their wife or significant other the day before.
Yep, love it. Do you cover giveaways already? Sorry.
Giveaways this year, we have one where we're doing like a before summer giveaway with like a Yeti cooler and a bunch of stuff to kind of kick off them going into 4th of July and all of these different things. So we're doing a fun giveaway this year. And the whole point of giveaways, you guys, is not to just give stuff away and spend your money. The whole point of the giveaway is to have some type of a lead capture or intake form that asks a question like, when's your next move, or when you're looking to buy or sell real estate, so that now you can update that information in your database. And if somebody's raised their hand on that form, raised a hand on that form that they are within that time frame, that's kind of like a warm lead now that you want to make sure you stay in front of.
Yeah, this is a really important part of giveaways and RSVPs, and Popeyes is a little bit different, but giveaways and RSVPs, get a piece of information from them. So whether it's their favorite, coffee drink or restaurant, or when is their next move? Who do they know looking to make a move? Capture something outside of just information on that so that you can put it into your CRM. Next time they have a birthday, if it's like a VIP and their favorite restaurant, like there's little things you can do when you're reaching out to people to grab information consistently to put back into their database.
Yep. And then our other giveaways this year, we kind of paired with our events, and that was kind of a tactic we're doing to get them to the event, and that gives them an extra entry into the giveaway if they physically come. So this year we're doing some fun stuff. We're doing a really fun March Madness event, and paired with a giveaway to Zoo Pass, a season Zoo Pass giveaway, and then there's another giveaway for the bracket winners, so that it's not tailored to just family members. So if you don't have kids and you're not interested in the Zoo Pass, we have 2 giveaways for that one.
So essentially that'll be like the first Saturday, the first weekend, we're going to do a watch party. We'll do a giveaway for anybody in our database as a whole. They'll get an extra entry to the Zoo Pass giveaway if they actually show up to the event. And then there'll be a cash prize to the winner of the actual bracket challenge. So that's going to be fun. We're going to engage people a couple weeks beforehand for that event. Yeah,
and this is our first year trying this, so we're going to learn a lot from this one too, like we do every year. And then the other 2 we are staying consistent with, where I was talking about consistency earlier. I feel less stressed about those events because we've now done them 3 times. And we're doing our end of summer bash, which is an annual thing we do every single year. That's a really fun event just to kind of get everyone together right before back to school. There are a lot of event friends, family, kids, all that. And then our holiday event at the very end of the year, client appreciation event, which for us is our big bougie party, if you will, probably our biggest celebration at the end of the year with Santa there and a bunch of different stuff, and we kind of go all out on our end of year celebration.
Yeah. I think that kind of gives a good understanding of what we're doing, and the focus again is to turn our database at 10%. With failures and kind of working through this, but I think for us, if you're an agent that struggles with leverage and operations and you don't want to do these things and kind of plug into a system, that's why we're building the team the way that we're building it. And if not, like this is the plan. It will work if you just do the things.
Yeah, it will do the things. It will do the things. You will see results from this. I think there's two options here, right? If you're a solo agent, you either have to probably go hire an admin at some point to help you execute on all of these things. This doesn't have to be as costly as you think. Or two, you plug into a team like Will mentioned earlier that's already doing those things if you don't want to have to go recreate and rebuild all of this yourself. And we are, like we said on the first podcast, currently recruiting 2 agents.
Yep.
So if any of this sparks your interest and you want to sit down and have a conversation or coffee with Will or I, don't hesitate to reach out.
Cool. We'll have some resources for you guys. We have 82 unique touches as well you could add just as different ideas. Next week, we're going to cover pre-qualifying listing appointments and buyer presentations. So we have checklists for those. We'll kind of be going through how to make sure your appointments are meaningful and you're not wasting your time, but like pre-qualify to make sure that they're ready to sell or they're ready to buy when you sit down with them.
Yep.
Cover everything?
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it.
Yes. Excited
We're
for
out.
next week. All right. Go.